they might have the luxury of having all of the options, pero sa small, can we maintain and assure that our students will really have genuine student choice? Next slide. This is a typology sampling in senior high school in Region 6. As you will see, Mr. Chair, only in Iloilo City will you have schools that are really large. All the other municipalities, majority, 70 to 80% are actually small. So we might need to truly figure out our design in a way that is differentiated depending on the size and the location of our senior high school programs. Next slide. We also expect that assuming all current proportions remain constant and assuming and using the data on increasing student population, tataas po ng matindi rin ang demand for SHS TVL. It is projected to reach 742,000 by 2027. So medyo mataas po talaga ito, and I know that TESDA is here with us. Next slide. Pero again, based on our question po kanina, yung choice natin ng Tech Pro clusters and NCs, what went into thinking about and making these decisions? Kasi po, for example, how does it consider available jobs or actual demand? Like, alam po natin maraming barangay healthcare workers na kailangan. Alam natin maraming ECCD, daycare workers na kailangan. Alam po natin na may demand pagdating sa iba't ibang fields katulad ng welding. So how is that considered by the choice of these offerings or these clusterings? How will these resolve deficits in the workforce? And tiningnan ko nga po kanina, baka naman actually pwede talaga siyang i-take pati ng magka-college. Kasi po, for example, may health services NC2 na kung iisipin mo, baka mas appropriate pa sa mag-nursing kaysa mag-take siya ng calculus at ng iba't ibang STEM programs. So baka po pwede nating pag-isipan siya more holistically. Anyway, we're talking about Philippine Credit Transfer System. We're talking about how you could actually do seamless transfers between TVET and higher ed. Might we also just consider that some of the NCs may give them actually better training, better preparation for the college programs they wish to take and have those credited already too. Next slide. If we then demand or ask that TESDA and DepEd allow our students to take higher level qualifications, NC3 or 4, mukha pong hirap na hirap tayo dito. Kung lahat po ng SHS TVL natin by 2027, ang gugustuhin po natin NC3 or NC4, TESDA's current capacity will only accommodate 6% of that. So ang question po natin, what is our target in SHS Tech Pro in terms of level of skilling? Because if it is anything that is NC3 or NC4, it means that beginning now or next year, we need to start building these programs because there are no providers, no capacity on the ground. Next slide. Pagdating po sa construction, for example, and we know that PCA is very active and continuously needs manpower, talaga pong 2-3 lang ang nag-o-offer ng NC3. The same could be said of garments, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and refrigeration. At marami po tayo nasisiraan ng ref at aircon ngayong summer. Kailangan po natin ng mas marami nito. Next slide. The Philippine Credit Transfer System implementation also needs to be ramped up. Matagal na po siyang pinag-usapan, 2004 pa lang may EO na. Hanggang ngayon, kulang na kulang pa talaga ang operationalized credit transfer mechanisms between TESDA and CHED. Pwede po nating pag-isipan or i-couch ang reforms natin in senior high school and college in relation to PCTS priorities, which we hope that PQF-NCC can consider in their priorities. Next slide. I guess yung question din po natin, Mr. Chair, based on your hearing last week on the functional literacy rates, we have dreams of our senior high school graduates. We want them to be ready for college. We want them to be ready for work. We have core courses that are comprehensive and really demand in-depth or critical thinking. Yung question po natin, kung ipagbabangga natin yan sa current na data natin on literacy and foundational skills of those who proceed to grade 11, what will we do? ano ba ang data ng grade 10 completers natin ngayon at pagsampa nila ng grade 11 kasi hindi naman nila automatically magigain ang foundational skills or functional literacy pag akyat ng grade 11. How will interventions be embedded? Because we could not think set in a tabula rasa way. We could not think of an ideal scenario. We need to accept where we are and meet our learners there. If, for example, 30% of our students from grade 10 don't have foundational skills or functional literacy and they proceed to grade 11 with the 5 core courses, what will we do? How will they imbibe that? How will they learn that? How will we include that in the design? Because that seems to be a major consideration as we are seeing in our data today. Kita din po natin sa grade 2024, grade 12 NAT results, most of our learners demonstrated low proficiency level in all learning areas. How are we considering these results, all of this data, in the current design of senior high school? Next slide. And finally, Mr. Chair, guidance counseling and also NCAI. I think, Mr. Chair, in the workshop by EDCOM on this, and you were the one who asked this question, and just to share it again with the body, yung top occupation interests po ng ating mga graduates, gratefully, in the past years, spiritual vocation based on NCAI. Kung ito po ang pagbabasihan ng mga resulta ng pagpipilian nila sa senior high school, should we adjust to this or should we adjust our tools? And our question is, how will the Landas toolkit also conform to this, or how will that move alongside the change in the NCAI and whatever tools are available on the ground? Because if there seems to be some disconnect or dissonance between actual student interest and programs that are available, then paano po kaya yun? Kasi hindi nagtutugma ang datos na nakikita natin at ang ating pinagsisimulang mga programa. Next slide. So, Mr. Chair, just to highlight our 7 main questions for DepEd, also to just reinforce the questions of our chair. First is, how does DepEd plan to address poor mastery of foundational competencies of students as they complete grade 10? Will there be assessments towards grade 11? Will there be an intervention before they reach grade 11? Will there be a revised program design in grade 11 for these type of students? Second, how were the electives determined? What were the assumptions behind the number of electives and the choice of subjects? Third, what is the educational background of the teachers holding SHS plantilla positions but handling subjects not related to their specialization? Kasi pagdating pa natin sa electives, isa pa po yung pag-aaralan natin. How were TVET NCs and clusters selected? Is there an inventory also of capital outlay investments made by DepEd already? Kasi po, kung na-procure na natin lahat ng mga ovens at lahat ng mga pangluto, paano po kaya yon kung ang demand natin nasa nursing aid, dental assistant, etc., etc.? Paano po kaya natin siya pwede pang ipivot? Fifth, what are DepEd's plans for career guidance and how will the Landas toolkit go side by side with the current NCAI or the future NCAI? Concretely, how will the revised curriculum for SHS not result in redundancy of subjects, as already underscored by our chair? And then finally, what are DepEd's plans in relation to senior high school recognition and quality assurance? Just to stress that we have been working on provisional permits, many of our private providers of senior high, since 2016. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that, ED Carol. We're doing working lunch, so please feel free to have your lunch while we discuss this topic. We'll go to the slide before. Yan. Matutuwa si Father Inocencio dito. Number 1, spiritual vocation. Maraming gusto magpare. But it is actually quite out of curiosity and interest. This is quite interesting. This is spiritual vocation. Yeah, but this is what they gathered from their NCAE, no, the guidance counselor test. No? Okay, Father, go ahead.
I think the question raised by Mark has been very good input for the questions that the study has to answer I think he has identified so many things of critical issues that needs to be answered with the pilot